to Rocky Marciano Night at the Fights. Jimmy, this is a brawl. You saw great fights in the 40s and in the 50s. What were the toughest fights you saw, the worst brawls, the biggest?
This was a very tough fight. Marciano punched himself out in one round. You'll notice he had to hold the rope going to the corner. You look back, I mean, Pep and Sadler were brawls, but were they more desperate fights than we have today? I don't know. I have trouble comparing. I told you, I know the one best fight I ever saw, you wouldn't know about it. When Nino Valdez boxed Joe McFadden, heavyweights, in the Sunnyside Garden on Queens Boulevard. There were 6 knockdowns in 5 rounds. People were watching it on television, and they were leaving the bar and running into the arena to watch it. It was terrific. They half killed each other, and everybody loved it.
That's what they love to see at the fights. We'll go back to the heavyweight championship fight between Rocky Marciano and Archie Moore.
That's a lot of knockdowns, 6 knockdowns in 5 rounds. It was only, you know, all right.
I agree.
And the Brooklyn blockbuster, he is a great fighter and one that's going to be champion a long time, it looks like.
We are back in Victory Yard with Jimmy Breslin, Pulitzer Prize-winning writer and novelist. And Jimmy, this was his last fight for Marciano, but he waited about 7 months to announce his retirement. He walked away undefeated, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world.
I would like to announce my retirement from boxing at this time. Why? I promised my wife that I would retire before the month of May arrived. We were on a vacation in South America when I made that promise. I didn't ever really get hurt in the ring, and I feel perfect physically, and probably still had 2 or 3 good fights left.
If we ask you the standard question, who gave you the toughest?
Jersey Joe Walcott in the title fight. I like to profit by others' mistakes, and if Joe Louis couldn't make a successful comeback, I will not try it.
What was life like for him after that? I mean, did he have enough money to live?
Money was all he thought about, and he always kept a list of the people who owed him money. He loaned money out for interest, and he'd make the neatest $2,500 period Eddie C. in Cleveland, Mayfield Road. And if Eddie didn't pay, Marciano would go to the Butler Terminal at LaGuardia Field and stand there, and everybody would say hello. And finally, one guy with a private plane would say, he'd say to him like they were cabs, "Where are you going?" A guy would say, "Cleveland." Marciano said, "I'd go with you." And he'd get off at Cleveland, go to Mayfield Road, look for Eddie C. and say, "Where's my $2,500? Oh, he'd go in after anybody, known guerrillas, hoodlums. He wanted his money. And in fact, that's how he died, didn't he? He was in Chicago, was it? And he hitched a ride with a plane, a private plane, to Des Moines. I don't know who owed him money in Des Moines. That's where he was headed. And the plane went down. He flew those small planes all the time. It got to be crazy, but that's what he did.
He knew enough to quit boxing undefeated, but he didn't know when to quit flying.
Well, I remember one story was in Tootshaw's bar, and some guy came in and was abusing him at night that he wanted to get in a fight. You know, they want to make themselves famous for a minute or something. So he finally broke off and went to the men's room, and as he's walking in, he looked out the door and he says, "You know, they just offered me $2 million, and this bum wants it for nothing." And he shut the door and went in. I remember that.
Jimmy, thank you very much for being with us with Rocky Marciano Night.
Was I all right?
You were terrific.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
You still have your punch.
I like to fill my punch.